What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And as you can see, we've just started our FUT Champs, and the formation we've gone for this weekend in particular, because it is more sweatier than ever, and it's going to be a lot more difficult over the next few weeks with the sheer amount of decent players that are coming, better than Tots in my opinion. As you can see from my squad here, 96 Oblak, 96 Ruben Diaz. These cards, DePaul, Bruno, Diaz, these cards have potential to get to 99 rated, and they're already good cards. I mean, if these cards get to, like, that one gets to a 98 or this one to a 99, they're going to be unstoppable. So of course FUT Champs is going to be sweaty as fuck. Anyway, as you can see in front of you, we're using a different 4-4-1-1 formation this time. We're using the 4-4-1-1-2, which has the cam, not the centre forward. Now, the reason I'm using the cam is because I want to try and keep a three-man midfield majority of the time. Obviously, if I send DePaul on a run, for example, he's going to support the striker, no matter what happens. But defensively, I want to try and keep a three-man midfield without losing my shape and without losing my width with the wingers, the LM and the RMs, exactly. So that is the thinking behind this. Plus, I do prefer a cam over a centre forward. I think they're easier to balance and get your chemistry. And so, as you can see here, we've got different leagues, but the chemistry is full. So anyway, what we are running on this particular one is balance 45-71. We want that aggressive. We want the centre backs and the left. We want the back four basically to step up. We want them to step forward, step into the forwards, get in their faces, be aggressive, and also use that auto offside trap. And that 71 def is what allows you to do that. Build up players as you would expect, which is balanced direct passing, 55 width. We're now using like 10 players running into the box. Now, what that means is it doesn't mean every single player is going to run into the box. It just means the more attacking players will get into the box. You'll still have your DM if you've set him up to stay back. He'll still stay back and things like that. But you just get more players running forward, and with them running forward, you will see in the gameplay, guys, that you've got more of a chance of intercepting passes because your opponent can't play the ball out so quickly. Obviously, the more elite player, they can work around this, but let's face it, we want to compete with the elites, so therefore we've got to change it and we've got to go more offensive than we have been over the last few months. So yeah, stay tuned for the gameplay because I'll explain everything during the gameplay and you'll understand where I'm coming from with this setup and how it works and stuff. So yeah, watch the gameplay, come back, and then I'll show you how I've got this set up. So I think it's always worth adding the defensive side to these rather than just the highlights and the goals and things like that. So I like to explain my formations as I go along. And although we're running two banks of four, I don't necessarily want it to defend in two banks of four. I want to be able to suffocate my opponent. So if we just run it back really quickly, you can see here, keeper passes it out. My players are back in position, and I'm going to pause it right here, and you can see I have my three-man midfield. It doesn't matter that I've got a winger in there, but it's my three-man midfield, and that's what I want. I want a 4-3-3 effectively, so I can spring out just like this, get the counter-attack in. You can see here we're at a 4v2 at this point. He can't get back. I can pass it again if I want to, and I get the goal, and it's quite simple to do this, and it's quite an easy way to score goals and overload your opponent. And again, you can see here, he looks like he's outnumbering me, but we win the ball back. Couple of passes forward, out to the wing, back out to the right back. I've got two players immediately on the move. Ronaldo's on the move again, and then he doesn't miss from these positions. So although I've got 10 players effectively set to get in the box, they don't get in the box, and that's a stupid pass out from the back from me here. But again, it just goes to show that what we're trying to achieve here. We don't want to be so defensive that we can't get out, but we also don't want to be so attacking that we're vulnerable. I think at this point my opponent just gave up at this point because he quits on me anyway. But yeah, a nice easy start to the FUT Champs, nice easy win. I think the further you get in this competition, FUT Champs, or the higher you get in rivals, whether it be Division 1, Elite, skill based, whatever, the more pressure and more aggression you come under, and I think you have to find ways around that rather than just get frustrated with the game. And although this 4-4-1-1-2 isn't designed for tiki-taka, you can tiki-taka the ball around. You can see in quite a few different examples, we're managing to string more than 7, 8, 9, 10 passes together, especially like working it out from the back, especially against the dribblers. You can see here we've got two banks of four. You can see the two forwards as well, or the cam and the striker, and then you can see how overly aggressive my opponent is. And you can see he's overcommitted there, and we get a nice easy goal in a foot champs game. So it's 3-1 up in a foot champs game, which doesn't happen often. But when you find the right balance between attack and defence and playing it around, it can be so much fun, and it can be it can be less frustrating as well. And I'm a big fan of the 4-4-2, absolutely. And this goal here from Bruno, by the way, is still relevant. The finesse shot is still a relevant shot. Yeah, but like as I was saying, I'm a massive fan of the 4-4-2. Always have been, always will be, especially in FIFA games or FC games, whatever you want to call them now. And I like the different variations. So I like the 4-4-2 balanced. I like the 4-4-2 defend. I like the 4-2-4. I like the 4-5-1. I like the 4-4-1-1s. This one particular as well. I think that they're really balanced in terms of the players you have can fit nicely. The way it plays can be real fun as well. Can be really rewarding. And I've said before in previous videos that for me it's not always about winning 3-4-5 6-0. It's about how I win. And I like the fast build from the back kind of football, and that for me is more satisfying than anything else. So I do prefer that type of football. So I do like my formations to reflect that. This Luis Diaz card, by the way, is crazy good. Here I know it's a kick-off goal, but still it's a crazy good goal. But it happens. The kick-off goals happens. I am going to do a video later in the week on pure tiki-taka football. So possession based, how long can you hold the ball for before the AI decides to give you a shit pass type of gameplay. Haven't decided quite what formation I'm going to use for that yet, but I've got one in mind. But of course I'm going to test it before I put it out there, like I do with all of these formations on new gen as well as old gen. And this foot champs weekend was really difficult compared to the TOTS one. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because there's more players now. The game came out for free, didn't it, a little while ago? Maybe that's why it is now. Everybody's got stacked squads. But I think some of these cards are definitely worth having. I think a lot of them are better than the TOTS cards. I've said that before as well. Like this Ruben Diaz card is crazy good. His price now is just under £1 million. And you can see here when your opponent overcommits, you can do that. So that's pretty cool. That's what this formation is all about, hitting them on the attack. This is set up slightly differently to a standard 4-4-2 or the standard 4-4-1-1, for example. So I will explain. If you've watched the gameplay, you'll understand why I've done this. But this is my setup. My right back, who is my better attacking right back, if that makes sense. I've got them on balance and overlap. However, my left back I've got on stay back and overlap. I want an overload. I want a progressive overload on one of the wings. Not both of the wings, because then you're too exposed, but on just one of the wings. And I think Cancelo is probably the better player that I have in that position, along with Elise. Elise has good work rate, so he'll come back and help as well. So that's my thinking behind that. The right wing and left wing. Come back on defence, cut inside, balance, get in the box for crosses. That's on both of them. The holding DM, stay back while attacking, cover centre. The more attacking CM, just cover centre. You can get in the box for crosses. You want him to make those runs, and your striker just get in behind. That's it. It's that simple. Nothing more, nothing less, and it works really well. Again, you'll see that if you pause it in game, you'll see that it sets up as like a 4-2-3-1 with the two CMs closer to the cam. However, like I say, I prefer that 3-man midfield at this point in time. It just gives me a bit more of a solid platform going forward, more passing options. And also, if I do get caught out on the wings, I know that these three are going to be able to cover my back and that lot. And also with the left back staying back, you've got that extra defender, but you've also got that extra attacker. So effectively, without sending too many players on a run, you're going to have 5 attackers, including the right back. My right back has got insane shooting, so that's why I've used him in that respect. So yeah, give this one a go. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until Friday, everybody take care.